Hello, friends. Welcome to the EmberGen 0.75 release stream. Hopefully everything sounds good. It should. I was having mic issues. My mic wasn't being recognized. But here we are. All right. So, John in our chat says that 0.75... or that I said that it was the tool of your dreams. It should be. I really hope it is. Yes, Ambergen is a fluid simulation tool. Air is a fluid. Okay, anyway, sorry that the camera's vibrating a bit. I'll back up from my desk. Sorry, today's been a really long morning, so I'm like, okay. So basically, we released EmberGen 0.75 today. We've been working on this for over a year, and we are doing the best that we can to get the software out to you. And so we got it out. Normally, I would hope that we would release regular updates throughout the year, but unfortunately, EmberGen 0.75 was just a beast to build, and we initially thought it was going to be done in like January, but that did not happen because of how complicated it was to build this. EmberGen is not a simple tool to build, unfortunately. And so we had to hire a bunch of new people too. So we brought on around like 10 new people to join the team over the past year to help us out. And they're all full-time now. And I just want to initially thank our entire team publicly, which I did in like my email that I sent out if you're part of our email newsletter, and also posted in our Discord server. But still here, I want to thank our team for all of their hard work. Even though I'm the face of Jenga FX, I am not the only person in Jenga FX. There's 14 other people working very hard to get the software to where it is and helping us test and visual effects and all that stuff. So really a huge thank you to everybody. This has been a crazy journey for all of us. Almost 2 years ago to this date, November 6th is our 2-year anniversary of EmberGen. We launched our alpha, and being completely honest, it kind of sucked. The only reason we released it is because we really had no other choice but to release it. Otherwise, we were going to run out of money. And luckily, during the last 2 months of the year that we had in 2019, that alpha sold really well. And that let us basically all go full-time after that. Even though it was like in the worst of the worst MVP state, in our opinion, in retrospect. But at the time, it was absolutely amazing technology. And EmberGen still is amazing technology. Open up any other tool that does what we do, and you're going to find that you're going to be waiting a really long time. Like, other tools haven't particularly caught up yet. One big tool is catching up, and that's great. I want to see speeds in the industry improve. That is the entire reason why I started Jenga FX, is to light a fire under people's ass so that we can get faster tools. And nobody else was doing it, so I built it. That's the thing. And so that's what EmberGen is. And now that we've got the real-time speed and all that stuff, we're working towards ease of use, right? One of the big problems is visual effects is really hard to get into. It takes a lot of technical skills and all this stuff, and EmberGen is still quite technical, and there's a lot of terms that you need to know to understand how a fluid simulation works and all that stuff. But the big thing is that with our node graph system and everything, it's very centered towards ease of use. And that's what this new UI and everything that we're releasing is working towards. I hope my mic isn't cutting out. There's nothing I can do about it. That's basically it. Just a huge thank you to our team, and a huge thank you to all of our customers and everybody who's believed in us and supported us and giving us your hard-earned cash. It is going to a good cause, I think. It is mostly going towards the development of our tools and future tools, things like that. If you buy our suite, that extra money, it essentially goes towards funding the team so that we can get bigger and then build our future tools that we have mentioned in the past. People ask me all the time, LiquidGen. In some ways, I regret mentioning it because I get so many questions about it. But we do hope to start work on it here eventually. That means that we have not really started work on it. We've done research, but we're getting there. So regardless, the suite stuff, it helps fund additional tooling. And so we're going there. Let's see. This has just been crazy. Like, I've been waiting for this day for so long, and the whole team has been waiting so long for this. And we've been diligently working the entire time. We haven't been sitting around. So, yeah. Other than that, guys, like let's kind of dive in and see some of the new presets, or actually, you know what, like before we go into like diving into like the actual release stuff, does anybody have any questions about the company or our team or anything? So I see that Timothy has some questions, and so yeah, so go ahead and ask questions and we can do some quick Q&A, and then we can hop through the software. I don't plan on this being a terribly long live stream, just because my day is extremely busy due to it being launch day. But yeah, so let's see. First off, so Timothy says, what pricing trend do you predict in the coming years? Staying the same, increasing, decreasing? It's going to increase. Like right now is probably the cheapest you will ever be able to get EmberGen or whatever. And it's not necessarily that we want to increase prices. It's just there's inflation, etc. Things get more expensive. Salaries get more expensive. Etc. like over time, and we might have to raise prices in the future. But right now, we recently lowered our prices. Like, Ambergen is literally the cheapest it's ever been for indie users or hobbyists or whatever. So, but I would probably presume that prices are going to increase over the years. But I don't know when. Right now, we're staying at $199 or $19.99 a month. And then our suite, I think, is like $249. The suite is definitely going to increase whenever we add new tools to it. So, if you want permanent licenses and stuff like that for all of our tools in the future, buy the suite now while it's cheap. So, because it is going to get more expensive. Are trial resets still a thing? Yes, they are. I'm sure that there are a lot of people who downloaded the trial in the past. And now their trial, they don't get a new trial for 0.75. Just email us and we'll send you a key to extend your trial for 14 days. Unfortunately, we don't have like an automated system that lets you do that, so we'll have to do it manually right this second. But yeah, if you need a trial extension, just email us and we'll be happy to give you one. So yeah. What's the update on LiquidGen? Well, my update was basically, we don't know when it's going to be out. I did say that we'd have it by like the end of this year. I'm pretty sure I said that. But the problem was we didn't think that EmberGen was going to take an entire year to develop this single update. And so we've been hiring as much as we can. We're doing the best that we can. And I really try not to promise dates anymore. So I learned my lesson. And by the way, say if you paid for a year and you have a permanent license, you will get a permanent license of LiquidGen completely for free. You don't have to keep paying. The only thing you keep paying for is updates right now. But you'll get at least LiquidGen 1.0 completely for free, even if you stop paying and you have a suite license. So that's not even a worry for you. You don't have to pay for another year if you don't want to. It helps us, like, it's going to fund our development, so the money's going to a good cause to, like, help develop LiquidGen and stuff, but it's up to you. Okay. Will it have Apple Metal support? We do have plans for Mac support. That's probably going to be EmberGen 1.0. I don't know when specifically, but we did hire a guy who does optimizations and platform conversions and stuff like that. And we actually even had a Linux build ready for 0.75, but the Linux operating system itself has issues with compute shaders. So we ended up not launching it because it's I don't know, it didn't work very well on Linux, but maybe we can come up with a solution to fix that in the future. Or Linux can fix their operating system. Sorry, Linux, I'm not calling you out. Don't kill me. So, yeah. Let's see. Any chances for a one-time permit? We already have a one-time permanent license. If you go to the website, it says it everywhere on the pricing page that we offer permanent licenses. If you know how to make it more clear, let me know. But yeah, so you can pay for an annual license, get your permanent license, and then immediately cancel, and you can own EmberGen forever. And then in the future, if you want updates, you can buy a year of maintenance whenever you're ready. And you do get 12 months of updates if you purchase an annual license. Good prices, or good policy to have lower prices for indies and students. Students get EmberGen for $60 if they have a university email address. So we do have cheaper stuff for students. And I do think it is a good idea to have lower prices in general. And that's why we recently lowered our prices for now. Congrats. Thank you. I already went over the Mac M1 metal stuff. Yes, we plan on doing that, but I don't know when it's coming out. Somebody says, I have not bought a license yet. I'd like to keep a look at Permsatech. It was part of the Octane beta users too. Yes, if you are an Otoy subscriber, you can get 0.75 as part of your subscription. In some way, that supports us too. But if you want a permanent license, purchasing from us is the way to go. Somebody says, how does EmberGen work with the Otoy sub? Basically, if you purchased, I don't know which tier you have to purchase, but if you purchase one of the Otoy subs, you can get EmberGen and World Creator for free for now. I don't think it's going to be free in the future, but for right now it's free in addition to your Octane sub. But you don't get the full suite, you just get EmberGen. And you wouldn't get like LiquidGen or anything like that in the future. And then also, it is a continual subscription. You never get a perpetual license if you have a Otoy sub. So that's basically how the Otoy sub works. And then, honestly, the goal with the Otoy sub is for us to basically have it so that we have a direct integration into Cinema 4D. That is why we partnered with Otoy. And we are working now to get our code ported over as a plugin for Cinema 4D, but that's going to be sold through Otoy, essentially. And so eventually Otoy users won't have the standalone, they'll just have the plugin version. But no timeline on when the plugin's going to happen. We've got so delayed with 0.75 that I just don't know timelines for anything anymore. But we're working on it. So, okay. Any plans for more in-depth courses or tutorials? So, we've released entirely new documentation, which is awesome. We are working on that daily, and we hope to continue to improve that. And then we are also planning on doing a lot of tutorials. So, yes, you will see a lot of tutorials. We did 2 live streams that you can see on our YouTube channel that trains you how to do fire and explosions and then like dust and smoke. But we do have plans to have like more concise, like strictly followed tutorials and stuff too. Just a matter of time. Somebody said I'm already using the animated geometry stuff and it's the shit. Yes, it is the shit. It's really awesome, isn't it? Do you need the full suite to get LiquidGen, or if you have EmberGen, do you get LiquidGen? If you have just EmberGen, you're not going to get LiquidGen, but you can always contact us and upgrade to the suite whenever LiquidGen comes out, and then you'll get LiquidGen as part of that. Any tutorial on how to integrate a 3D volume inside Unreal? Unreal does not support VDBs or 3D volumes other than the ones that they generate directly inside their software. You could export a VDB to like Houdini and then slice up the volumes, but we hope to have a volume slicer in like a hot patch pretty soon, because I told our tech guy to work on that. So yeah, so hopefully that answers your question, but in general, we would really just hope to have our own integration in Unreal Engine 5 and have you have simulations actually working like directly in Unreal. So that's one of our goals too. I don't know when that's going to happen, but it's on our list of like more like serious things we really need to do. Let's see. Plugin for 3ds Max, only through Otoy. Whatever Octane works in theory, our plugin will work in inherently, but we don't know how well the plugins are going to perform. We don't know if they'll be real time. We don't know anything about how it's going to work. The reason why we built a standalone is because we have full control over performance and everything else, versus integrating with other people. But Otoy contacted us and said that they could help us out and do the plugin stuff and whatnot, with our code and everything. So I really hope that it is real time in those other tools, but we'll see. Are there any restrictions on buying maintenance? Like, for example, Redshift has this annoying thing where you only have 1 year after your license runs out to get it, and then it only lasts just as long. So the only restriction we have is that you can't, like, get a perpetual license, or we don't call it perpetual anymore. We call it permanent, where you can get if you buy a permanent license and then say like 3 years later, like you've been canceled and all this stuff, you can't just buy a month and then like expect to get updates. Like, you're going to get a new key for buying a month. You're not going to update your old key. We only have yearly maintenance plans. The maintenance plans, like, they are not available to purchase on our website yet. You would have to contact us, but I don't think that anybody's in the situation where they would need to buy maintenance yet, since EmberGen is quite new. So, but if you are in that situation, contact us and we can give you maintenance if you need it. So yeah, let's see. People looking forward to the C4D plugin? Yes. We hope it comes out next year. That's all I'll say. I hope it comes out next year. But I don't know when it's going to come out. Congrats on the release. Thank you. Nice to hear you're planning more tutorials. I find the approach from Insidium quite nice, as they do quick tutorials and more in-depth ones. Yep, we plan on doing some of that stuff. Can you please show me how to export fire with model? EmberGen is the best. I'm probably not going to show exporting stuff. If you want to see stuff like that, watch our previous live stream that we did for the training. Can we emit from specific faces using alpha mask for an alembic? So for alembics, we don't have, you can't use variable vertice counts, and you can't use any type of mask. If you want to mask anything, you would need to do it through vertex color, or like bones or something like that, that are parented to a specific vertice. So you can do from specific faces if you parent like a bone or something like that to it, I believe. And then you have the you have the option. Sorry, I need some water. Okay. All right, I'm back. So yeah, so I think that's a way that you could emit from specific vertices or faces if you wanted to. Otherwise, you can use vertex painting, but that stuff only works on FBX as far as I know, because we don't have a full Alembic integration, just because Alembic was so ridiculously complicated to integrate. And the only reason we got Alembic is because the FBX SDK from Autodesk actually had a like a small Alembic integration. Oliver, I'm not going to be showing how to import a camera today, but you can go to our documentation, and there is a text-based tutorial that shows you how to do it. And I can tell you over the stream here, basically, use an import node. You want to import as a FBX. And then after that, you click, I think there's a button called like Use Camera, and then you do that. You expose the camera, and then you plug that into like your actual camera node. And then from there, you go to the default drop down, or where it says default camera in the viewport, you can select the new camera. So that's basically it. It's really simple. You just import FBX with it, expose it to the node graph, and then that's basically it. So, and we have a little tutorial on our documentation on how to do that. DXY Abyss says, I know it's easy to export sprite sheets for a given effect, but is there any kind of pixelation filters? Yes, there is. I can show you that in a second. Are there going to be UE5 tutorials? Maybe. We're kind of straying away from like game VFX tutorials right this second because we have so much to do with EmberGen, but I'm sure we'll probably do some like live streams for actual game art and stuff like that too. There's a lot that I want us to be able to do on our channel and have our channel really be like an awesome learning source for both games and film and stuff. So we'll get there. We need to hire more people. So let's see. Congrats to the public release. If my 1-year subscription will end soon, will I only get 0.75 or will I be able to update? So the thing is we think that it would be completely unfair that even if you stopped paying now, for you not to get 1.0. We don't want you to have a beta version of the software for a permanent license. So you would definitely get 1.0, but your updates would stop at 1.0 after we're out of beta. And for those of you still paying, that is literally paying our salaries. So thank you for your support, even if you might not need maintenance right this second. But it is convenient. So yeah. The Otoy version has not been updated yet. It's a completely different build system, and we hope to have that out like today or tomorrow. So bear with us there. It's still early in the morning for us. So, and we just needed to get stuff out to our customers first. But other than that, Otoy, we do hope to have it updated soon. As a person who doesn't know advanced math, is it possible to learn the software? You don't even need to know advanced math to know how to use this software. EmberGen cannot, or Unreal cannot import VDBs. It's just not a thing. There's no new materials for Unreal. We're still using the old one. Okay, so I'm going to stop talking for now. I've been talking for like 30 minutes. So thank you for listening to my rant. We're going to go over EmberGen 0.75 real quick. And so the stream will probably be like 30 more minutes or something like that, because I do have a lot to do today. Unfortunately, I wish I had more time, but I don't. Okay, and I talk too much, so that's how it is. That's why I'm the person who does this. EmberGen does not install to the C drive, by the way. It should install, or actually it should install to like C program files, whatever. It used to be just straight C, but now it should be direct to like program files, I think. If it doesn't, let us know because our installer's not working right. But yeah. Okay, so here we go. Let's remove my face. Let's see. There we go. All right, cool. So this is EmberGen 0.75. We have a lot of new presets, and so today my plan was that we were just going to kind of go through some of the new presets, some of the ones that I think are cool, that kind of thing. Let me go to my view, render quality, and let's do low so that it's running faster. So like we have like some really cool new like fire shading. We have a lot of cool new presets, I think, to really get you guys started. We have like, torch flames and fiery cubes. We have like our fake waterfall thing. And we have like some comments in some of our presets showing us how to do this. Which, if my stream is laggy, I'm not sure why EmberGen is... You know what? Hang on. Let me restart the software, because I think I'm using a build that is not good. Hang on one second. Let's see, build, EmberGen. we had a build that had a memory leak right before launch. The new one shouldn't have one, but okay, come on, you can do it. Launch. Okay, hang on. I'm having like a lot of technical difficulties here. Well, on launch day, everything goes wrong, right? For some reason, like 2 instances opened up, and now it's taking like 300 years to exit or close or do whatever it's doing. Hang on. I'm a task manager. All right. Okay, so this version of EmberGen is the stable one. Okay, so it should be fast and not like lag me to death. Okay, that waterfall should have been running a lot faster, I thought. Okay, that is a bit faster, but not much. Anyway, so this is what we have. So this is 075, and sorry, I'm just getting back on track here. Okay, so we have like the fake waterfall, and we do have comments through some of these things showing like how we did things. So we have some really cool new presets showing off like line forces. You can see that we added like new gizmos and things so that you can really tweak the way that you visualize things. In like our nodes here, we have like previews for like your noise. If we're using post modulation, which we are here, so we're like mapping the vorticity to temperature. So without that mapping, this is what it looks like, and then with the mapping, this is what it looks like. So you can use post modulation. We have some really cool curve editors here. So we're really trying to give you a lot of control over how you're managing your simulations now. And you can see that we have oscillators that are just randomly changing the position here of these various line forces, which is really awesome. One thing I wish that we could do that I think we're going to add is like an eyeball button to like where you can just click and see all the visualizers you want at one time. But hopefully that'll come out in a patch or something. Yeah. Great, and I'm really glad the screen's not lagging. I was having a lot of problems with OBS earlier. And then we've also got things like, like some magic spells. And I'm just kind of going through the presets here, ones that stand out to me. We've got like this is a larger preset, so I probably should have put like a heavy GPU warning. But we've got like a flamethrower versus a flamethrower, which is really awesome. That is a very heavy one. And then we also have a specific example to games. And if you go to render quality high, this should actually look good. So there we go. So there's like a nice render for games. And one thing that I want to note for this particular preset is we animated the camera so that your texture space fills up properly. So if we go over here and let me just say like test or something, and then export now, you can see that this roughly maximizes your texture space a lot better than if we didn't animate the camera. And then of course we have our little our playback tool. Right now our playback, it actually does work if you pause and play back. Does our playback actually play back at the right rate? No, not yet. So this thing is still broken, unfortunately, but there's a big problem with like retiming and things like that we're going to be working on that causes the issue. But you can go through the timeline and scrub forwards and backwards if you want to. So that kind of shows like I wanted to make sure to have at least just one like game specific preset for the game devs out there. And by the way, if you want to export all of your images, you have to right click and do export all. There is no more export all button at this time yet. We're probably going to add it back, but we just needed something quick, so we added it to the menu here. So you can export all your passes. They don't all have a file path, unfortunately. But yeah, so that's that. And so that's a game example. And for the person who talked about pixelation, if you're still on the stream, you can go to scene style, pixelized, and let's go to our render here. And then we can do like less pixelization. And so there you go. So like you can kind of like change this to be however you want. You can make it like more, say like 8-bit if you want. So something like that, it's pretty cool. And we could use, say, just the render, and that's gonna like get rid of the bloom and stuff like that. So yeah, so if you do want pixelization, you can do that. We also have like a paint filter, and things like that. We have like chromatic aberration if you want that, which let me turn up my quantization. And so like you can like add chromatic aberration if you want to your texture. You can boost this to something ridiculous like 5,000 or whatever if you wanted to. So, and we have like, iteration amounts and everything. So you can kind of change whatever you want. We also have like an edge detection filter, and then you can kind of like, tweak it to be, as stylized as you want. And we can say like, let's make like our edge color like red or something just to see it. And then for some reason it's not showing up on Sobo Alpha. Let's see. So we have like various things that you can do. So yeah, so we can like change the ramp. So then you can make it like, black if you wanted to make it really stylized. And even if we go into our renderer here, you can see the full version of that and kind of change like the edge ramp or do whatever you want. And so we have differing methods for that kind of thing. Somebody said, is it possible to layer these effects? Not yet, but I would hope so in the future, that we have something kind of like Substance Designer where you can really change everything. Somebody said, do you have to cache the main fluids? No, we do not have a cache. Everything is completely real time. So for instance, one other cool thing with this particular preset, which that filter looks really cool. But so we'll leave this little filter on, and if we go to say force noise and change our seed, the simulation is different now. Oh, sorry. Here we go. Let me just go to my render or scene camera. So here we go. So we've got it like going out to the side like this, and we change our seed again, and so we can just change things, change our scale, whatever. Doesn't matter. Everything is completely real time. It updates every change if you restart the simulation. And for instance, like let me go to like a new project, and like let's just go to emission and change like our fuel rate or change our smoke. Like everything is completely real time. You do not have to wait. There's no caching or anything like that. And by the way, a huge feature that we added, which it's really hard to show, but if you minimize EmberGen, it will not consume your hardware anymore. It will go to sleep and it will stop heating your room up. So I know that a lot of people ask for that, like, hey, like if I'm not in EmberGen, can you please make it not use stuff or use my performance and my graphics card and electricity? Yes, we have done that for you if you minimize it. And I think there might even be like a sleep function. Somebody in the chat can let me know. I think we even have it that if you don't interact with the software for an extended period of time, it just goes to sleep too. I don't know if that made it in, but I think we added that. Will there be a cache in the future for doing very high resolution sims? Maybe. I don't know though. So yeah, it kind of depends. It's going to get really complicated whenever we add like sparse simulations and stuff like that. So I can't promise caches, and caches are kind of like against the principle that we're after. But I can see how caches would be. Apparently, if I pause it, then it will go to sleep after 10 seconds, which is cool. So yeah. Somebody says they have a RTX Titan, I'm sure, or they don't have RTX, they have an old Titan Pascal. I'm sure that would work fine. The big thing is memory bandwidth. The higher your memory bandwidth is, the better EmberGen is going to perform for you. And so we also have some other really cool stuff, like these cool little jellyfish. We have... let's see, I have like this fire via modulation example for some different style flames. One thing that I really like, let me see if I can find it, is this crystal fire flow. I think this is awesome as shit. That's really cool. It's definitely a motion graphics-y type effect. And the way we're getting this is just simply through a neat little color gradient. So that's really cool. And then we have like a line force kind of pushing everything outwards. One thing I do hope we have in the future is tiling simulations, so that you can tile like your textures or VDBs or whatever in the future. Let's see. We also have magic GPU particles. So we do have like some neat GPU particle examples. One thing I do want to mention is that in this version of EmberGen, GPU particles are a lot slower than they used to be, unfortunately. That's just because of the way like our new renderer and stuff works, but we do hope to continue to optimize our stuff here. I know that people also really liked clouds. So we have a lot of different cloud presets. So we've got like an alien cloud preset that you saw in our trailer, which, by the way, if you haven't seen our trailer, watch that after the stream. It's really awesome. We put in a lot of work for that. Oh, sorry, I just did the clouds alien. And then we have like, let me show like some more like actual cloud stuff. So we have like a cloud layer. If you wanted to figure out how to do something like that for like your VDBs or something or whatever, and that kind of thing. So we did add some like really cool cloud presets, and I kind of tried to organize stuff, but there were just so many that it was hard to put them all in the same thing. We also have like a hurricane example, if you're into that kind of thing. We do have like a new tornado as well. I do know that tornadoes don't particularly like suck downwards, but this is more of a stylized tornado. We'll probably have another, maybe even more realistic tornado in the future. Yes, it is normal that your GPU usage is 100%. That's the entire point of EmberGen, is that we use every bit of performance that your graphics card has to offer. That's why EmberGen is so fast. Is because we don't want to use 50% or 98%. We want to use 100 to make sure that you get the maximum performance possible out of the software. So yes, it is normal and it is expected, and your graphics card is not going to die, hopefully, unless it's like a lemon. But yeah, your graphics card, it has built-in protections and all that stuff. So yeah, so yes, 100% is normal. And now if you minimize the software, it won't be 100%. So yeah. Let's see. We also have some really cool stuff like this dust shockwave, which, by the way, let me open the GPU heavy one here. I really like the shading on this one. And so, oh, sorry, this is massive explosion. Let's see, dust shockwave. So I really, really like the shading on this one. And if I turn off the ground on this, it does create some really cool effects on the ground as well. I think that this is really nice. And it's especially cool that we get like these like yellow sun lit volume things on the ground. It's really cool. And so this is one of our higher quality simulations. You could make this even more detailed if you use like noise and post modulation or something like that, but this is a really cool simulation. And I tried to make two different versions so that if you have a 3090 like me, you can run the heavy version, and if you don't have a 3090, then you can use the less heavy. And so yeah, and then we have like, another type of shockwave, which is really small, and it's just a simple dust version. Let's see, what other cool presets are there? Let's see. We have a new thing for particles, where you can actually advect your particle shapes. So if we go to motion, and say if we turn down our advection intensity, which actually, okay, there. So there we go. Okay, so if we have advection intensity, that allows them to go up, and then we have tightness, which controls how tightly they follow those vector fields or velocity fields or whatever that the simulation is generating. And this allows you to have some pretty neat effects where you can actually advect your particles. So, I mean, one thing that might be interesting, which I just want to try this real quick. So if we go, I think I had an aerial explosion. I don't know the numbers by heart yet. Let's see. It's somewhere. I'm looking for my aerial explosion. Here it is, 25. Okay, so like in this, I'm just curious what would happen if we go to motion and we do tightness intensity and advection intensity. So yeah, so the particles, they kind of swirl around. So we probably want to like lower our tightness or something like that. And so now your particles might be a little bit more on the swirly side instead of just going in straight lines or something like that. If you did want some extra motion or things like that inside of your simulation. So that's a really cool feature. We also have particle collisions now. Let's see, GPU particle, let's see, particle bubbly. Okay, so yeah, we do have a particle impacts example. So basically particles can like bounce and collide and all kinds of stuff now. And also particles are world space as well, which should help out in a lot of things. So you can actually have a particle emitter that's moving, and the particles don't move with the emitter, so to speak. They get injected into world space instead of being local to the emitter, which is quite useful. And so let's see. We also have something like this where you can do more unique things with your particles, and this is GPU particles in this case. And if you want to access GPU particles, you can go to rendering mode, particles, experimental. And hybrid is both volumetric and particles in the same simulation. So yeah, and let's see. One GPU particle effect that I really like is this Enigma. I showed it on one of my streams previously. And if you want like the sphere block out away from it, you can disable the collider, and that'll just make it just like some electric like stuff. What I should have done though is exported this with our chromatic aberration because I thought it looked really cool when we did that. Let's do like 500 or something. So yeah, so we have some pretty cool stuff. Yeah, and so let's see. Jason pointed out number 43 to me, which is Bouncy Particles. So yeah, so we have this neat little example where you can see that particles can like bounce and collide off of the walls of the simulation. They can also bounce and collide off of actual colliders, things like that. So if we go here and we do collider, and we go here and drag like a shape, and if any particles hit this, in theory, maybe there's a setting that I need. Let's see, collisions. Yeah, so we need to go here and we need to say collide. So collide with colliders. And now our stuff should collide with the colliders, which is really awesome. So that means if you bring in like a mesh or anything like that, you can have these particle effects actually collide with the mesh and stuff if you're emitting like an explosion or something like that. So it's really awesome. Uh-oh. It's generating a lot of collisions or something like that for a second. I think it got stuck between the sphere and the ground, because the ground is what's causing the impacts in this case. It's really, really wacky. So we have that. And then I also have some other cool stuff like these magic energy balls. So this is kind of like an example of our new lighting and the ability to use colliders as lights and things like that. So that's a really cool feature that we added as well inside of 0.75. And so we also have some more realistic stuff. So if you need like steam from a teacup or something like that, we have an example for that. And I do hope that we have a lot more presets here in the future as well. We also have some cool stuff like a smoke signal, things like that. I did see that somebody asked about a larger scale or slower moving simulations like galaxies. We do have a guy on our server named Lucas. He might be even watching this stream right now. He does a lot of galaxy stuff, so it is possible. We don't have any presets for larger, like slow moving things, but it is possible to do that kind of stuff if you want. And so, yeah. let's see, one really cool example that we had here is something like this. This is a very odd thing that we came up with. And the crazy thing about this particular simulation is that there are no emitters in this case. There's not an emitter at all to create any of this. What we're actually doing is inside of the post-modulation settings, we're taking like the vorticity and the velocity and things like that and applying it to replace the smoke or fire in the simulation. And so then that is being our emitter essentially. And so it's a really, really crazy simulation that we have here. I think it's really cool. So some other presets that are being, can we layer 2 or more effects and would they interact with others? I'm presuming you mean like different simulations, and the answer right this second is no, but in the future I would hope so. But right now we have a problem with some of the things that we're doing. So this is one that was pointed out to me. So we have like falling vapor, which is a really nifty preset if you want something like dry ice or something. And I think we have some specific dry ice presets too. Then we also have some new things like a math node, so that you can do math if you want to. Somebody asked, do I need to know math? No, you don't. But if you want to use this node, you do. And so this is just a really simple example, but you can do any kind of expressions that you want if you are mathematically inclined. And we also have a MIDI import now. So if you go over here, oh hang on, cancel. If we go over here and we go to modulator, we do have a MIDI node for those of you who like music and things like that. And you can plug that signal into any input that you want. So if you wanted to change like your fuel rate or something like that, you can plug this MIDI signal into your fuel rate. I don't have a MIDI controller, so I can't show you anything. But you would be able to control this via MIDI, and you can do single channel, triple channel, note trigger, control change, all kinds of cool MIDI stuff if you're in that sector of the industry. And so another one that strange oscillators, which is this is a very strange simulation where we just have a bunch of different oscillators and time shifts and stuff. And so you can create some very, I would probably call this like generative art type effects and things like that with EmberGen as well. It's not just fire and smoke. You can do all kinds of magical stuff. One of my favorite presets is this emerald ball. I particularly like this effect, and I'm sure that you could, make it so that you like animate your activity or something. And so like, let's restart the sim and then just like animate it really quick or something. And you could take away the smoke if you wanted to and have like a really nice burst for like a game effect or something. You can always, undo the, what did I do here? Okay. Yeah. You can always undo the collider if you don't want it to be masked and things like that as well. So yeah. So pretty cool, different effects that you can have here with EmberGen. And there's just a lot of stuff, guys. I'm not going to go through every single one, but we do have a lot of really cool presets for you to try out and learn from. I do hope to have more explosions and more fire and more smoke and things like that. There are some things missing, but I kind of want to wait for our sparse simulations before I do things like a big smoke plume or something like that. And of course, we didn't like match hardly any of our old presets or anything. So there's probably some things that we can do on that front as well to give you access to even more. And then one thing, the chat can kind of respond to this, but one thing that we want to do as well is offer what I would consider professional presets. We have had a lot of people in the past ask about like a preset store or something like that. And so we are going to have one. I don't know when it's going to happen, but we do want to release like a bundle of, say, like 100 explosions or something like that, you know, for X amount of money. I don't know how much it would cost, but if there's something that you would like, let us know. In the end, it is another way for us to support the development of the software, because it is very expensive to run this company and build this tool. So we do hope to offer some paid preset bundles that are like production ready and they're already set up and things like that. So yeah, so that's something. If you have any feedback on that, let me know. But and maybe even one day we would open up the marketplace for people to sell their own EmberGen projects. But all depends. But that's something else that we're kind of thinking of right now. So yeah. Other than that, guys, that's basically everything that I wanted to show here, presets wise. And so we already offer, you know, I hope to have over 100 free presets, and then anything else you can buy it from us whenever we have those out. And so a couple of other quick notes just to kind of go over some of the actual features of EmberGen, the main points. So if we go here, let's see, open project, desktop. Hang on, let me move this over here. So here's an example of something that we have where we have a explosion and things like that with a moving camera integration. So this kind of shows a number of different things. We did not include this preset because I don't know if we have the rights to actually like distribute this drone shot or not. But yeah, so as in like in image formats or whatever, I think we can, or I'm pretty sure we can actually show it because we put it on our trailer. So I'm pretty sure that was cleared, but I don't know the rights behind distributing it. So we didn't put it with the preset. But what we have is basically we have a imported scene from Maya, and it has camera information and this like this polygonal geometry. So we can like turn off render as polygons, and you can see that it's basically showing that we have matched the camera movement to the mesh that we made and things like that, which is really, really awesome. And then we have just, it's not the best explosion in the world, it's just something simple to show that we can track the footage properly and have it so that you can use EmberGen as a compositing tool for your films. Because people always say, my VDB doesn't render right in another tool. Well, it's not going to look like EmberGen because we have a totally different renderer than what anybody else uses for volumes. We have a lot more features that are very specific to the data that we have inside of EmberGen. And so that would be why it's not looking particularly the same for you. But you know, you can use like this shape here as like a holdout. You can, you know, import your camera, like I said, and so you can have like the default camera, and so we can just like, you know, peruse around and build our simulation like where we want it. And then I think, which if Daniel is in the chat, he's our main VFX guy, I think right now the only caveat is you can't move like the bounds of the simulation to be where you would want it. But what you would do, I think, is like have it so that the VFX that you want is in the exact center of the scene, and then export it that way, so that our bounding box is in the center of exactly what you're where you're wanting to put it. And so the camera will still be like offset properly and stuff, but it should allow you to composite properly if you export with the yeah, 7.3 sparse simulation. Go find that preset, guys, if you want to see sparse simulations. Yeah, so okay, yeah, so you can move the FBX and EmberGen and stuff like that to make it match your back plates and whatnot, which is kind of tedious. Hopefully we'll have a cleaner, better workflow in the future where you can move the actual simulation itself as well to match like where it's imported and things like that. But this is literally just the first pass on our camera imports and stuff. So yeah, and then of course, if you do import your cameras, I believe we go over here to the cameras tab, and you can select your camera, and that's literally all you do, and it outputs it, and then yeah, you can plug it into control and set it over into the camera node, and that's it. So it's really easy. And then inside your camera node, that's where you have your back plates. You can set the frame rate, that kind of thing. And then also with like your animated geometry, you would want to make sure that you are setting the proper frame rate. There's various things in our Discord server that talk about frame rates, and because EmberGen is 60 FPS, but like your camera might be 24, and there's like some kind of complications there to make it all kind of line up and stuff. But if you look in our Discord server, and maybe we'll even cover it in our documentation until we have retiming. So yeah, so there's that. Let's see, and then I think that's about all I wanted to show. You know, if you want to get this node tree inside of EmberGen, because I think by default it is not enabled, there's a node tree button up here, and it does expand. And this is like a new way that you can kind of select your stuff. You do have to click the little dot unless you have it like this. And then it's a lot easier to select your nodes. So if you do like a node tree and you're used to working with that kind of thing, or if you don't want it, you can turn it on and off. We do have various preferences for like your camera, where you can change it to Blender if you are a Blender user. Industry compatible is Maya. We should probably name it Maya, but I don't know why we named it industry compatible. But regardless, it's basically Maya. And we'll probably add like Houdini controls and stuff like that in the future too. So yeah, we want you to be comfortable with your workflow. The new UI is really, really awesome. I mean, it has so many cool features. Like if you want to say, you know, I want to find fuel, or I want, you know, like noise or something like that. I want to find it. Or if I want to do noise in my search bar for the node graph. You know, and then also if you're like, I don't know what connects into what can connect into emitter forces, well, just drag off and it'll tell you, and then you can click and figure it out. Which actually, oh, it has no parameters for the term fuel. That's why. Okay. Yeah, we can even add C4D camera controls. But I think, like, if you want, also there's in the preferences, you can kind of change things to be whatever you want. So you can change all of your parameters to your desire if you want. So you can map it to be anything you want. There's also, yeah, somebody brought up the command palette. So if you want to quit the software or cut, copy, paste, you know, create a comment, whatever, you can do that with Control-Enter as well, which is really cool. So yeah, those are kind of the features here. So yeah, I mean, there's so much. And I think if we go to About Release Notes, there's a huge change list here. So we have like new viewport controls and visualizations. You can now control the camera with your mouse, keyboard, or a tablet. I know that a lot of people like to use like Wacom tablets and stuff. So if you want to, you can use that in EmberGen now. You know, you can also in this feature for the game devs out there. Let me go back to my game specific thing here. Hang on, I gotta go back to my install folder and find the preset. Okay, so in this case, if we export this render, and let's just do test again. If we export this, the background is black, and in a lot of cases in the game engine, you might actually get like these black edges and stuff like that on your sprite whenever you have it. So what you can do now is if you go into the I think the render node, and then we have background, which unfortunately the display background under playback control is not the same thing. So you need to go to the render node, and then we can change the background color to be, I don't know, let's say like this gray color or something. And so now, whenever we export this, It should have worked, but it did not. Maybe I chose render. Okay. I need to do render all. Oh, hang on. I know what I did. Okay. So you can only use render with backgrounds here, not render all, because render all is overridden by the viewport. That makes sense. So here we go. So now we have the gray color, and you could, build it to match a little bit better if you wanted. And so it's pretty cool. And so, yeah, so that's really, really awesome. And then, of course, now you actually do have to manually export alpha as well. So if we go down here and check alpha, we can plug that into our export image. And now this would export with alpha as well. So now inside of here, we've got our alpha, and we shouldn't have dark edges. As we can see, there are no dark edges because of what we exported with. So really awesome workflow improvements for games as well. We do hope to continually improve this. There are some other things. I believe it's in project settings, or let's see, preferences. User variables. So basically, if you want various variables, so say, I don't know, like a good example. So let's just say like render all, or we'll just say R, right? And this could be, say render all. And so if we add that variable, like anywhere we put this right here in the name, it's going to actually do this in the export. And so this is so that you can, create systems for, say, like, naming motion vectors and all kinds of stuff, like specific names and whatnot, without having to retype it all the time. You can just type, $R, $M, whatever, and it will name it your specific convention. So that's really cool. And then you could probably even pass your like user config file like around your team if you have all the variables set up, and then they could have all the variables that you have, which is pretty awesome. So back to the about release notes. So everything is fancy. You can do auto linking with Control L. We have a new math node. You can edit multiple parameters for multiple nodes. So if you select like multiple emitters, you can edit them all at once. We have a new verticals node, which is pretty insane. Real Thing said, I'd like to be able to export grayscale frames into all 4 channels of an image. I don't know if we have like grayscale specific, but I'm sure you can probably find a pass that will work for that. So like let's go here, and so we have like direct light. We have emissive. We also have just like alpha, which in some ways is just grayscale. We have like your albedo, which in this case is really dark. We have a depth pass. We have like a smoke mask if you wanted that. So we have all kinds of various grayscale things for you. We've got a flame mask if you wanted that as well, which is really, really bright in this case. But so if you want that Real Thing in the chat, we have all kinds of passes, and you have every chance to pack it however you want. You can plug these in to whatever channel you want. So go wild on that. And so let's see. Somebody says, I'm not a student, just for learning. Do I need an indie license? Yes, you need an indie license. Whether you're a hobbyist who's just learning and you're having fun and doing your own things at home or whatever, or you're an indie person who actually wants to do stuff commercially, you both have the same license. It's really cheap. It's really affordable at the end of the day compared to other tools. Instead of needing, a giant base program or something that costs $4,000 or whatever, plus plugins and all that stuff, we have just this single standalone, and this is all you need to create the effects that you want. So that's that. Other than that, and so also Michael has a good point in the scene node. If we go over here and we go to our saturation, you can change it to 1, but it appears to be broken on our Fire, which is funny. Gil, if you're still here, write that down as a bug. Saturation does not work on the Fire channel. Interesting. Okay. Fire is kind of pesky, and it kind of makes some weird effects. But yeah, so there's that. And so other than that, like, are there any other major things that I'm missing here? Let's see. Release notes. Okay, so we'll see here. Yeah, so we have like all kinds of hotkeys, animated meshes, lots of shading and rendering improvements. If you want to see those, watch our live training live streams that we did. And then lots of particles. So we have like particle, GPU particles, shape particles. We have like a new burst particle thing. So if we go to open project, I really do like this right here. So I have them kind of organized. Let's see, I'm looking for bursts. Here we go. So we could do like magic bursts or whatever. So this is like a way to spawn a bunch of different particles or shapes or whatever in a bursty fashion, if that's what you want, instead of having to keyframe all of it. So that's really cool. And so yeah, I think that's about it. We have cleaner, faster exports. The VDB exports are now from the volume node, which makes a lot more sense, which is awesome. And so yeah, that's about everything, guys. You know, I want to just say, if there's any final questions, I'll bring my little camera back up here. So that's basically it. You know, this is kind of the release stream. Our trailer really kind of like tells the tale of what's new and everything. And we have been doing live training sessions that show off so much stuff. So I don't really want to be repetitive because we've been documenting the process of 0.75 for a while now. But yeah, so that's basically everything, guys. You know, just thank you so much for all of your support. You know, every dollar counts and helps us out with development, because we are a team of 15 people now, and that costs a lot of money. So we need your support. You know, we need your help. You know, so you know, we're trying to do great things for the industry, and I really want us to be number one. You know, I want us to be the tool of choice for everybody. And I think that we're doing a really good job. You know, if you look on our new website, which if you haven't seen that, go check that out too. It's a really nice website. So I'm proud of that too. But if you scroll down on the homepage, you can see a giant list of customers, and all of those companies trust us with their product. Or at the very least, they use it. Hopefully they trust us. So, but they all do use the product. Yeah, I mean, it's just really, really awesome. And so, you know, I hope that our 1.0 trailer is, that we can top it, because this trailer was pretty cool. It took a lot of work to get it done. So yeah, you know, we're pushing forward really hard, and 2022 is going to be an amazing year for both us and for you guys when you get access to new tools within EmberGen, or maybe even new tools in general. We'll see, that kind of thing. And we really want to disrupt the industry. I think that if you look at certain big name player, insert name here, recent release, you can tell that they have a lot of inspiration from us. So we're definitely making a massive impact. And they're watching what we're doing. So it's really cool. And kudos to them for their recent release, if you know who I'm talking about. It's a really cool update. So, you know, but we are competing. And so, at least in my mind, we are. So, fuck it. I want to win. And we're going to do everything that we can to continue making the software great. And we're just going to focus on us. And we hope that we gather more and more people to get the software. So please tell your friends. This software is so awesome. It has most of the features that have been requested in regards to animated meshes and camera imports and whatever. So like I never have to hear about that again. Thank God. So yeah, that's basically it. Like this is a long time coming. So I really thank everybody for sticking with me and with the team and everything. So somebody said, when will the render include, or render, I guess I mean Otoy include 075? Hopefully sometime today or tomorrow. I'm sure the team is probably working on it now. So yeah, it'll be just whenever. So it's coming soon. Our customers got it first, and then Otoy customers will get it soon enough. So thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate you tuning in for the stream. And if you have any questions, feel free to join our Discord server. You can find that on our website in like the footer or on the homepage. And also, I think under like community tab in the main menu. So please join our Discord server if you haven't. And then, yeah, so if you want to talk to us, you can do that there or through our support email form on our website. So go there and click contact us, and you can contact us from there. And then a couple other things. We have some self-serve portals now. If you have a license that says in use, you can go to the support page and deactivate it yourself instead of creating a support ticket because we were getting way too many. So you can fix your key there. Oh, and Martin Bowman says you can update the Otoy version, so it looks like we pushed it. So excellent. They must have done that during the stream, so good job to our dev team for getting that out. Now we just need to make it available to, I need to give it to Jules over at Otoy so that they can put it, the zip file and stuff like that on the downloads page. So yeah, so looks like Otoy users have access now as well. Yeah, that's basically it, guys. You know, thank you so much. You know, without your support, we would not be here. I started the company in 2016 and had no clue what I was doing, and I just really wanted this to work. And now we have 15 employees, and we're just kicking ass. And you know, a huge heartfelt thank you to all of you. You know, without you, we couldn't have done it. And a huge thanks to our team as well. In my email and stuff, I said thanks, but I really want to say thanks again. You know, they've been awesome. So we have some of the best minds in the world working on this tool, in my opinion. So we're doing what we can. Gotta do the dab, right? All right. Well, I will catch you guys later. Peace out for now. We'll probably do some more live training in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned. Somebody said it right in the chat. So, Jinx, right? Yeah, new training coming in. So, just stay tuned. Other than that, I will talk with you guys later. Bye for now.